This is the worst decision ever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Dawson, and in today's video, we are going to be reacting to some of the more viral TikTok videos. Now, disclaimer, I don't do TikTok. I don't really like it all that much, but the thing that I'm finding is that a lot of people do. And so I wanted to go on there and react to some of the animal stuff, and I want to just throw a couple quick disclaimers in here. Number one, these are my opinions. Number two, we're going to be dealing with quite a few exotic animals. Now, I have quite a bit of experience with exotic animals, including fox and serval cats and a whole bunch of other things. If you name it, I've probably seen that or something close to it. And so most of these are going to be as pets. I'm not against people owning exotic animals for pets. However, I think that it needs to be done responsibly, and there are some animals that you just shouldn't probably have. Let's get started. Okay, so first of all, the person probably deserved it. Second of all, I do not at all recommend that you give your wild cats raw meat. And there's a few reasons for this. Yes, they would eat raw meat in the wild. However, that meat was freshly killed. This is not. Most of the time, our non-fresh meats are going to be processed in some way. For example, this chicken was, after it was killed, went through the processing line and was plucked and was thrown in a water bath with a bunch of other dirty chickens. There have been studies that have shown that Campylobacter, which is an extremely dangerous type of bacteria, is found in probably 80% of chickens that are in the market that you can go buy at the grocery store. So I don't recommend raw meat because even though, yes, they would eat raw meat in the wild, it's not usually going to be nearly as contaminated as something like this fresh chicken. That although may be clean, it probably isn't as clean as you think it is, and if they don't get sick from it, there's always a chance they could give something to you. And there have been cases where E. coli, salmonella have been given to a person from their pet, even though the pet never showed any symptoms. So that's my recommendation. Okay, here's the next one. Ooh, I know what this is. Okay, so part of the reason that I wanted to show this video in particular is because some of the main comments that I saw on this video, most of the comments, or a lot of the comments, were talking about poor cow, oh poor cow, or poor cow. This is a bath full of a pesticide because there is a specific tick in the southern U.S. I'm assuming this is at the U.S.-Mexico border. So anything that crosses the border has to go through one of these dunk tanks. And they go through these dunk tanks because this tick is not in the US, but it is in Mexico. This disease, anaplasmosis, which is in cattle, and it's a specific type of anaplasmosis, not just the one that we get up here in the north, but it's this different type that affects cattle that's not really in the US. And so they're trying to kill the ticks before they cross the border.
Finnegan? What's the Finnegan Fox? Is it Finnegan Fox Friday? Oh my goodness, come here! Oh, it's so exciting! Hi!
Okay, I'm not against people owning fox, and I'm not saying that she shouldn't. But dang! You can't let your fox get that overweight.
I know,
You can't. Look at, oh, it hurts me. Fox are cute. Fox can have a really good personality. But please, please, please do not let them get this fat. They are made to be thin. Thin. And they don't need a lot to go a long ways. She is pretty cute, though. Or he.
No. You're such a good
boy. Boy, so
yeah.
he.
I love you so much. I do. Yeah. Oh, my. Oh, Leo.
Okay, is a pretty cute fox, but look at how chunky this fox is. Holy cow. Let me show you a picture of what a fox should look like. This is what a fox should look like. So that other fox, I would guess, is probably 25, 30 pounds. A healthy adult fox should probably weigh at most 15. So that's like me, and I'm overweight, and I weigh 200 pounds. It'd be like if I was another 110 pounds. So if I was 300 pounds, that would be the equivalent of that fox. So one of the big problems with exotic pets being in captivity, especially things like fox or bobcats or lynx or big cats, is obesity. And obesity is a real problem because they're not getting the exercise they normally would. They're not undergoing the same stresses that they normally would. And they're being fed a super rich diet, high in protein, high in carbs, typically many more calories than they normally would be getting. And so obesity is a huge problem, and it's something to watch out for sure. I feel this too. So what's probably happening here is one of two things. Either he was given some sort of anti-anxiety med like trazodone or gabapentin beforehand, or was sedated at the vet. And sometimes we do have to sedate animals, especially if they are really high anxiety, or if we have to do x-rays, or if we have to do other diagnostic testing that just we can't do with them awake because of their demeanor, because of what the procedure is. And a fair amount of dogs will end up leaving like this, which is better than them leaving super stressed and hating coming to the vet even more. But I feel this. Like, this is... It's kind of funny to watch, okay?
I'm just gonna scooch in right here if you don't mind. Shh. We've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is just somebody's pet that they brought out, okay? I don't know anything about the person. But if this is a wild raccoon, do not let them do this with your dog. The number of diseases that they carry that dogs can get is incredibly high. And if a wild raccoon comes up to you during the day, run away, okay? Do not let your dog go after it. Rabies, distemper, something called Baileys ascaris, which is a type of parasite that can actually infect the brains of humans. Just to name a couple. A raccoon that is out walking about this time of day, something is probably wrong. Now, I did go and look and see that this is somebody's pet, which, okay, as long as you're taking care of it and whatever. But as a public service announcement, do not let your dog do this with any wild raccoon ever. Run away, drag your dog with you. Okay, first thoughts. This raccoon is way too fat. If you're going to have exotic animals, do not let them become obese. Period. This kind of obesity is cruel. It's going to shorten the lifespan of this animal. They're going to have unnecessary diseases that they wouldn't even get in the wild because they are so obese. Let's watch.
Как вы уже знаете, у Тёмы не получилось залезть на диван, и мы посадили
That's
его на
sad.
диету.
Just
Когда мы ему об этом сказали,
also
он расстроился и ушел спать, много ворочался, потому что ему снились печеньки.
Yeah, that's
Когда
why
Тёма
it's fat.
проснулся, он оказался на диване.
So my daughter brought this in the house. What do I do?
You don't. Okay. Again, I'm not opposed to people having exotic animals. But let me repeat this one more time. Do not bring a wild animal into your house, especially a raccoon with your little child. Period. Now, if this was captive raised, has been dewormed appropriately, then I'm not going to get so worked up about it. But if this is truly a wild raccoon, yikes. Okay, I picked this one because it's interesting, and I wanted to... This one, the comments also were fairly toxic towards this individual, and I want to address a couple of those things as well, but let's watch the video first. So basically what he's doing is taking the horn off because it's grown in such a way that it actually grew into the skull, or at least through the skin of this cow. Cow looks like it's probably sedated, and there can be a lot of reasons. So the biggest comments were, why didn't he do it sooner? And thankfully it doesn't look that deep, so it could have been a lot worse. Sometimes you don't know. If you have a herd of cattle, and depending on where they are in the country, there are cattle that don't get seen by people more than once a year. There's also a lot of cattle where if you don't have the facilities to get them up, sedate them, then you can't do anything because they are so wild, and in a lot of ways they can be fairly vicious. I feel bad for this cow. I've seen this happen in goats and in cattle as well. Don't hate on this guy. He's doing what he needs to do. This cow is being taken care of the way it should be. Sometimes those horns can grow incredibly fast too, depending on the mineral that they're on. I mean, this could have been gone from being completely fine to growing into its skull in a matter of less than a year. Based on what mineral they were on and how the nutrients were. If you've ever taken prenatal vitamins, you know that your hair and nail grows way, way quicker. And the same goes with cattle. If they're taking the right nutrients, their hair, but more importantly, their horns and their hooves can grow incredibly fast. So, don't hate on this guy. He is doing his job, and you don't know the story. He probably didn't wait any longer than he had to. Okay, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't do TikTok, okay? I don't understand it. I'm a boomer, apparently, even though I'm not that old. But interesting videos. I picked mostly, and the majority of them being exotic animals, because I find them the most interesting, but also because they tend to get the most hate and the most love. There are a few problems with exotic animals, and the biggest one is that a lot of times when people are going to be bringing them into their lives and showing them on social media, people go out and try to buy them all up. And this creates a rush. This creates bad breeding practices. We see this with the large cats, and it's the big reason why the federal government is stepping in and really closing down any movement of large cats without explicit approval. And also, they're kind of shutting down any sale of large cats, so tigers, lions, etc. In a lot of ways, it was good, but in a lot of ways, for people who are really trying to do the best for these animals, it's bad. The regulation is making things harder, and it's making things more difficult for these people who are trying to preserve this breed and species, and trying to do the best for these animals. So, all of these animals are wild animals at heart, and they haven't had the time to be domesticated. And that's maybe a video for a different day, but just be careful. They can make good pets. They can be really interesting and cool. But if you're going to do it, do your research. Make sure you keep them healthy. Find a veterinarian who can deal with these types of animals and does deal with these types of animals on a regular basis. And most importantly, make sure it's legal in your state. Make sure that if you need permitting, you go through the permitting, because otherwise you could be turned in, your pet could be taken away from you, euthanized potentially, and you could face pretty big fines. So just be on the lookout for that. Have a fantastic rest of your day, guys, and if you liked this video, let me know down in the comments. And if you want more of these videos, let me know, and maybe I will make some place where you guys can submit some submissions for things for me to react to, because I'm interested. I don't know if I like TikTok or not. It's kind of a scary place, so to say the least. So have a fantastic rest of your day, guys. We'll see you in the next video.